Fertility can feel like a cruel lottery. That's what I truly believe. When I look at every area in medicine, every specialty, I look at fertility and I think it's all about luck. You see women doing everything right, tracking every cycle, optimizing every variable, who still can't conceive. Then you hear about women who seemingly ignore all of the rules, fall pregnant easily. So I've watched clients with robust AMH levels struggle. Then I've got close friends who were told in their 30s, this is going to be a very difficult path for you with extremely low AMH levels. They tried everything. They gave up at 42, fell pregnant naturally. It's confusing. It's emotionally devastating for some. And honestly, it makes me question whether anything you do even matters. So you have 5 fertility non-negotiables, foundational factors that people need to know about along their fertility journey. So why don't we start with there?
I'm glad that you bring this up because it does seem unfair sometimes if you're going through infertility. Why is this happening to you? I've had pregnancy loss and infertility myself, and being on that side of the table, even as a physician, it feels hopeless. You can feel dismissed sometimes by your physician, and it feels really isolating to get left behind as peers, friends, family are moving on to a life stage that you desperately want to. But I want to push back on this luck narrative quickly because luck is something you have zero control over. And when we think about our knowledge, the choices we make, we think about the doctors we choose to go to, we get opinions from, that is the definition of not luck. That's planning and preparing and making active decisions. And when it comes to our fertility, for all of us, it is finite. Age is one piece of the puzzle, but not the whole puzzle. And we don't want to let just time make a decision for us. We want to plan for a life goal if having kids is a life goal. But even more than that, fertility is a representation of your overall health. Women who have infertility, I'm in this bucket, have a higher rate of chronic medical disease, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, cancer, and earlier death. And it's not that infertility is causing these things, but it's a common causal factor that's putting you at higher risk for infertility, is also putting you at higher risk for these health conditions later. And this is because we have to start thinking about infertility for many people as a red flag that your cellular health is not functioning appropriately. And this is truly how chronic inflammation in today's world, we're exposed to so much, is hijacking our fertility.
Wow.
So when it comes to fertility non-negotiables, this is really looking at changing the narrative of, I'm going to do what I want to. But instead, we're going to say, I live in an inflammatory world. Every single day, I make choices or I'm exposed to things that I have no control over that are causing chronic inflammation inside my body. This is contributing to insulin resistance, hormone dysfunction, abnormal gut health, slew of problems, but it's also contributing to infertility. So if we want to walk that narrative back, we want to have an active plan to combat this inflammation that we're exposed to. And this is going to be by focusing on sleep, stress, exercise, diet, and avoidance of toxins.
I want to stop right there.
Yeah.
This word, inflammation.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many times almost everything that now I'm believing is coming back to inflammation. I don't care whether it's, there's so many paths to diseases, but I feel like it's
all coming to the same.
It's all coming to inflammation.
Louisa, my pathway to start thinking about this, because this isn't really how we're trained in medicine. We learn about inflammation on the disease pathway, right? Acute inflammation is your body healing from a cut or something quickly. And chronic inflammation is when your immune system is constantly activated. And certainly that results in a toxic process. But when I started researching natural fertility, which is what I did all of my fellowship thesis on, most people do an IVF project or something in the lab because it's easier to control more of the variables. Of course, epidemiologic research is more complex. But when I was looking at ovarian reserve and vitamin levels and environmental toxins and abnormal menstrual cycles and luteal phase issues, I saw the word inflammation everywhere and started really realizing exactly what you said. Our cells, we have one body, everything's connected. We've got to start really looking at how this process of inflammation is the precursor to so many disease states across organ systems.